Hello, welcome. Grab a drink, grab a book, get your comfy sexy on. Mine is oversized-ish button-up shirt and sports bra because I love sports bra. I got sick of you seeing all the supplements that I drink. If you notice my voice, I'm okay with that. It's been a long week, long weekend, and it's all good. So this is actually the second time that I've recorded this video, which is my January book haul. The first time I recorded it apparently was in slow motion and without sound. So congratulations to you all for having sound and for it being a normal recording. So one of the things that I've committed to doing in 2025 is devoting more of my finances to purchasing books. This is a bit of a scary time for the world, honestly, is my opinion. Those of us in the romance sphere know that there's already stuff happening to prevent the content that we love, these creators, these authors, these artists from making their art and sharing it with us. And having physical copies means that at the very least I can protect it, I can keep it safe. So this is not to say that you need to, should I judge you for spending or not spending your money. This is just my personal choice in these times to spend money on books. I purchased 34 books in the month of January, and I'm going to be really transparent about the kinds of books that I bought as well. Deep Karam really inspired me to hold myself accountable and share that with you. In the month of January, 52.94% of those books were written by authors of color, total of 18. And 7 of the books, or my notes, 20.59% were queer stories. So that aligns with my diversity goals for my reading, which is 40% of the books that I read are by people of color, and that 20% of the books that I read are stories of queer humans. So that does align with my diversity goals. It means that what I'm bringing into my library supports what's coming out of my mouth. There are a couple different categories of books that I have from January. There are books from events or special editions. There are books that I got as trophies. Books that I got because they continue a series or they're by an author that I've already read, and then books that are new to me by new to me authors, and I'll go through each of the categories with you. They are all right here, but I'm going to be removing them as we go along because that keeps my brain happy. So these first 2 books are the special edition / event books, if you want to look at them all pretty. It is Brewed with Love by Shelley Page. I went to a signing of hers when this book was released. It is a queer, sapphic, kind of mystery tale. And this is The Final Rose. It is my Probably Smut book subscription. So I got a book subscription from Probably Smut. I think I'm gonna look into a few others and add those to my spending. If you have a subscription that you like, a romance subscription that you think is really good, put it in the comments. It is The Final Rose, and it's inspired by The Bachelor. Amy Oliveira is also an author of color. I don't watch The Bachelor or any of those, but I'm excited and I trust what Probably Smut brings. They do like really cute annotation tabs that match the book. I like that. This next category of books are books that are trophies, which means that I read them in a different format, and I got a physical book to have and keep on my shelves. This first one is Lore of the Wilds by Annalise Brana, and I love this. I got a digital copy from the library. I thought it would be more YA. I thought it would be a love triangle, and it was an unexpected 5-star read for me. It originally came out in hardcover, but it came out in paperback in January, and so I got myself a copy. Absolutely obsessed. Can't wait for book 2. This one is Better Than Fiction by Alexa Martin. I have read a few Alexa Martin books. This is my favorite of hers so far, and it is a cute black cat golden retriever with a bookstore story, and I wanted her on my shelves, and this, as I said, was my favorite of hers. It's the one that I chose. Triple Sec by TJ Alexander was the next book on my trophies list. I got this from the library as well. TJ Alexander, I have another book of theirs, Chef's Kiss, which is the slowest of burns. This one was not the slowest of burns, and I appreciated that. I think that fact that we're getting Trad Pub to put queer poly stories out there is incredibly important, and I want to make sure that I am celebrating that and using my dollars to tell TradPub that we want more stories like this. Flirting with Disaster, which is this one, is an arc that I got to read back in August, September. I'm pretty sure September. It's by Naina Kumar. It's her sophomore novel. I loved it. I loved it so much. It is inspired by Sweet Home Alabama. It takes place in Houston. There's a hurricane, an estranged husband, and I thought it was an incredible evolution, or step forward from Say You'll Be Mine, which is fine, but I thought this one really stepped up the game, and so I was so excited to get my hands on the finished copy. Ne'er-Do-Well by Alexandra Vosti is a book that I kind of had a throwaway for. I got it, but sometimes historical romance says spicy and it's not, and I'm kind of sick of it being misled. But this one wasn't spicy per se. But the reason I got it is I like the writing, and this story really talks about how educating women about sex and sexuality gives them power and keeps them safe, which is a huge thing here at Jace Reads Romance. And so having this book that puts out there the exact message that we're putting out there was important to me. Oh my gosh, my pile is falling over on my lap. The Starlight Heir by Emily Howard is another arc that I got to read. Isn't it so pretty? It's so shiny. It's another arc that I got to read back in September. I've known her from historical fiction, but this is a fantasy novel, and I ate it up. I inhaled this, and I was so excited to get my hands on this. I'm probably going to have to read it before the second book comes out. I don't know when the second book comes out. I don't think she knows when the second book's coming out, but it was so fantastic. Just the lore and the twists and the turns and the oh my gosh, it made my heart so happy. And then the final book, I know y'all are going to be shocked by this. It is God of Malice. I read God of Malice as part of Dark December back in 2023, and I hated the FMC. I thought she was just TSTL, too stupid to live. But I have not stopped thinking about this book. I probably think about this book once a week and want to reread it now that I can get over the fact that I don't like the FMC. I get it. Killian, you're a psychopath. Or not a psychopath, maybe a psychopath, but a sociopath. The expectations are different. My understanding of dark romance is different. And this one has actually really kept my attention and kept my brain going ever since. So I wanted a physical copy. Also, now that they're being released by Bloom, they're pretty, and so you might see some more of these in a bit. So those are all of my trophies. That means that they go not on the wall behind me, but they go right over to the I've read this wall. I can't hold these up. These are all continuation books. These are by authors that I've read or series that I'm continuing, and I'm gonna have to hold them in separate parts because I can't hold them in my arms. There are too many. This is part one. This is The Temple of Swoon, which is the second book by Jo Segura. Raiders of the Lost Heart was her first one. I've already read it. I read it almost immediately. I loved Raiders of the Lost Heart. This one was a great sophomore novel, and I know that she has more coming down the pipeline, and this cover is incredible. Just her cover designer is so wonderful. Miriam Raffaget, just amazingly well done. So I was very excited about that. Told you. Yeah, I did. It's God of War and God of Ruin. I don't think these are in order, but they're the ones that I found at the bookstore. They were in stock. I love these colors. I love the way that they match the covers. And at first I didn't continue with the series because I was just so mad at dark romance. I was so overwhelmed. But I think I'm gonna dive into the Rena Kent verse. I might start with these unless I'm told that I have to start with something different. So I am continuing that series on my shelves because I don't know, I just decided to because they match, and if I decide to at a later date then they won't match, and I can't abide that. These next three are the hardcover books that I purchased. Yes, I purchased North is the Night by Emily Rath. This is a queer story, and I wasn't going to purchase a hardcover, but she's standalone and she's so effing pretty, so fucking pretty. I love Emily Rath. I love the stuff of hers that I've read, and so I was happy to get this book and have it on my shelves, though I'm not gonna lie, I might replace it with a paperback if the paperback comes out as pretty. Yes, I bought it. I ordered it back in April. I read it. It's done. I'm not gonna talk about it. This is For Ruined Realms, which is the After 5 Broken Blades. Wow. May Cortland. I have 5 Broken Blades. I have it in hardcover, so I wanted to get the hardcover of Four Ruined Realms so that it matches. So those are the, I like it when things match. I used to not care, but now I care. Y'all have turned me into the I care. I think it's because I just didn't realize I had a choice before, but now that I know I have choices, I care. Hi everyone, I purchased these books and made this recording and my wrap up for February before everything came out about this author. And so while I'm not deleting this clip from the video because I did purchase them, I will not be talking about this author or sharing what it was because I will be removing these from my shelves. Thanks. Earl Crush, which is the second book, came out in January. So when I grabbed Ne'er-do-Well, I grabbed this. Her third book is an FF novel. It comes out in September. So she writes historical romance. She's got a few on KU from before she got picked up by Trad. So if you like her style, there is more out there. And we're getting into some queer stories, which I adore. I don't know if Alexandra Vasti is queer, but you're telling queer stories, you're telling sapphic stories. I think it's great. Spiral is the book after Collide by Bel Cabra. I loved Collide more than I expected to. Not that I expected it to be bad. I think I just didn't expect it to be so good. And Addie, if you have listened to that interview, she has read this and said it was amazing. And so I'm very excited to continue with that series and get me some more college hockey romance. About some Megan Quinn books. So Megan Quinn is an author that I've always known about, but I've started to get more into her because I went to an event for How My Neighbor Stole Christmas, and I loved her. I loved her more than I loved the book. But it's specifically, these are books that came out, well, these are the UK versions. It's all mixed up, so we might have to fix that. But this is a book that came out as an indie series, and in the UK covers, they kept the original cover. The US covers got a redo, and I like them in more. Now, the only problem is, if you can see, these two are the UK. This is indie because it doesn't have that publisher mark on it. They're different sizes. So yeah, I might have to fix that. This last pile are authors that are new to me, people that I have not read before, but I saw them, they looked interesting, and I want them on my shelves. Oh, everything is falling. This is Manila Takes Manhattan. I was looking at one of my local indie bookstores. I'm very lucky that I have multiple ones that I can go to, and I saw the back of it. Number one, I saw the title, and then I went, what? Let me read this. And it's just, I think it's like a fling that turns into more. I thought it was a really fun book to try out. This is a book that I'd heard about, and it really, I didn't want to buy it. And then it pulled me in. And it is Dating and Dismemberment. It is a monster romance, but it's between two monsters, which I feel like is not the norm. And the back of this involves a summer camp, and that just made me laugh so hard. So I'm excited. This is by Entangled. I like them in general. The next one is Destination Wedding. This is another author of color that I have not read. It's a charming rom-com. What am I looking at? I'm just like hiding myself behind this book. But I love the cover. I love the back of it. It's an author who's new to me. It's Diksha Basu. And I thought, yep, let's give this. It's also not very long. I feel like less than 300 pages. Yeah, less than 300 pages. So a fairly quick read. If anyone's read this, let me know. Unromanced by Erin Connor is a book that I heard a lot about. Some of my friends have read it and they said it was fantastic, very unexpected. I do sometimes like a grumpy girl and a sunshiny guy, and this seems to be, from what I understand, the perfect mix of that. So Unromanced by Erin Connor went into the pile. Boys Town Heartbreakers by Casey Carmichael. This takes place in Chicago, and so obviously I had to get it because I'm going to judge the geography of the book like anyone who reads a book in their city does. It is a queer story. It is not fake dating, but dating lessons. Let me double check that. Bastian should get over their breakup by dating Andres' best friend. I love that. That's like some of my favorites, when the tension that has been so well hidden and the desires that have been so well hidden. Sorry, we're gonna break all that up now because we're gonna fake date, or you're gonna teach me how to date, you're gonna practice date on me. So good. One of my favorite little tropes. The Ride of Her Life by Jennifer Duggan. Yeah, give me some queer sapphic cowgirls. That is so funny. It says an irresistible enemies to lovers, grumpy sunshine, queer rom-com for fans of Delilah Green doesn't care. Yeah, I was sold. I was sold by that. Nothing else needed to be told to my brain to know that I wanted that. The 7-10 split by Carmen Lee. Carmen Lee is at a few of the conferences that I'm going to, so her name has come up. And I just thought the idea of a bowling-centered queer rom-com was adorable. There are a few others, and Ashley Herring Blake actually has a little blurb on the back of this. So Ashley Herring Blake, apparently, like, you're all I want, you're all I need. Yeah, it just looks like really cute and fun. I love the cover. And then the last one, this is where having friends who encourage you is terrible. Sonali Dev was at an event that I went to, are going to, and the bookstore had a bunch of her books. So I wanted them so they could get signed, so they could be signed. And I don't even know if I have the whole series or if I have completed series, but these were the ones that they had. And they can't be because there are too many different publishers on the bottom of this. But she's an author that I've heard of and I don't have, but I better start getting into because I have all these books of hers. If you have a favorite book by Sonali Dev, let me know what it is and I will put that on my TBR. Those are all the books that I got in the month of January. If you got any of them, if you've read any of them, if you want to see me read some of them really fast, let me know. I cannot wait to see what happens in the month of February. And in the meantime, this is Jace holding space for you.